Welcome back to another versus battle, guys. So in today's video I'll be doing Sakura Uchiha from Naruto and Android 18 from Dragon Ball. And in today's video, just like the other one, each round will be divided up into three categories. The first one being hand-to-hand combat, the second one being in destructive power, and the last one being on intelligence. And I'll decide who has the edge in each round and then come to a conclusion on who I think would win. Now, just because one person might have the edge in like the majority of these options doesn't necessarily mean that I feel like they'll win the entire fight as a whole. So please don't take it too hard if, let's say, I give one more than the other and then I end up choosing the other. This is all for fun and just a really cool way to kind of see how these fights will play out if these two warriors were to ever meet. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. So the first round we have is hand-to-hand combat, and let's start off with Sakura Uchiha. So Sakura Uchiha in her universe is known as being a master when it comes to medical ninjutsu and being a village leader in her own right. Now, one of her most crucial qualities is her ability to be just a fierce force on the battlefield, and that is attributed to her hand-to-hand combat abilities as well as her augmented strength. So she learned from her master how to control her chakra to the point where on impact she can create earthquakes, quakers, and just crazy devastation just by a single punch. And she's also learned how to read and analyze her opponent's movements to better formulate strategies that would help her get an edge over the opponent and also avoid risking injuring herself or her teammates. So that gives Sakura a very good edge when it comes to being a formidable fighter on the battlefield. In contrast, though, we have Android 18, who, albeit she didn't necessarily train, but she didn't really need to train. You see, she is a human/cyborg hybrid, and with that has given her augmented strength, speed, agility, as well as automatic understanding of different martial arts, and she's quite essentially a martial arts master in her own right. And she's been able to overpower and practically bully beings and entities that are planetary as far as their abilities of destruction. There's a fight with Android 18 and Vegeta where she just simply humiliates him like it was nothing. So Android 18 is definitely no pushover when it comes to hand-to-hand combat. But for this round, just because of the training and the ability to be able to analyze and assess her opponents to find weak spots, I'll have to give it with Sakura. I believe Sakura has more feats to show that she's able to, no matter how powerful the opponent, find a way out of the scenario that would get her the competitive edge. So for hand-to-hand combat, we're going to have to give that to Sakura. So for the next round, we have overall destructive power. And this is an interesting one because both ladies are, they're able to create mass destruction, but in two completely different ways. Here you have Sakura where she can create craters and earthquakes just with her fists, whereas Android 18 is able to manipulate her ki in a way to where she can shoot out blasts. She can create a destructo disc that can slice through damn near anything. And she can funnel her energy and create even bigger blasts. So as far as overall destructive power, Sakura has been shown to be able to create massive craters and to take out multiple enemies at once. One example is her taking out the Ten Tails. They're like clones, and she was able to take out several of them just by hitting her fists to the ground. And then same thing with Android 18. She's been shown to be able to create blasts big enough to overwhelm gigantic robot machines in a turn of a power. So with this one, just because I believe with universals, how their universes are built up, I feel like on a wider scale, Android 18 has more destructive power. That's not to say that Sakura couldn't hang with Android 18. Android 18 just has a bit more versatility and can create things on a much wider scale. Sakura can take out football fields. Android 18 could probably wipe out cities if she wanted to. So for destructive power, I'm going to have to go with Android 18. Sakura fans, don't beat me up too much about it, okay? Okay. So for the last round, I want to go with intelligence. And this is a really hard one. because here we have Sakura, who's essentially a bookworm of her universe, and she's also basically a doctor slash surgeon in her universe, which means that she already has a high level of intelligence as it is. And then you have Android 18, who, again, not much is known about her backstory prior to becoming a android slash cyborg, however you want to call her. But Android 18 has been shown to have a very strategic mind. She's a little sadistic too, and she's able to come up with strategies quite quickly. Her and her twin brother are almost genius level when it comes to finding openings and dominating on the battlefield. So with this round, I'm going to base my decision based off of feats that I've seen in both shows, and I just haven't seen enough of Android 18 to be able to determine if she would be the more intelligent fighter. Android 18, I believe, is the more consistent fighter as far as not allowing her emotions to get in the way of, the fight. But Sakura has shown time and again that her brain is her greatest weapon, and she's managed to get herself out of pretty sticky situations. So for the round of intelligence, I'm going to have to go with Sakura. So for the first round, I gave hand-to-hand combat to Sakura. For the second round, for destructive power, I gave that to Android 18. And for the last round, I gave intelligence to Sakura. So overall, how do I think this fight would play out? So there's several different things that could happen. They could essentially go all out, so that means Sakura is going 100 healings right off the jump, and Android 18 is sparing no expense of using her ki and overwhelming her opponents. So if Sakura managed to catch 18, there's some serious damage that 18 is going to take. However, if 18 is able to overwhelm and just basically spam Sakura until her chakra reserves run out, which where Sakura is at now in the Boruto anime, her chakra reserves are at insane levels, so it's going to be a while. This is not something that will happen really quick. What I feel like the most realistic situation is these two ladies would beat the crap out of each other until they're both knocked out. It would be like Sakura versus Ino on roids. And so for this round, I'm actually going to have to decide it to be a draw between the two ladies. It is going to be the first draw of the series, but I just can't see either or beating each other, so I'm going to have to choose a draw. And that's basically it for this video. The next fight is going to be a tag team format between Rock Lee and Rock Lee and my guy versus Gohan and Piccolo. And that's going to be a lot of fun for me to put together. So if you guys really like these kind of videos and you guys want to see more content like this, please make sure you guys like, subscribe, hit that notification bell for more videos like this. And I'll see you guys on the next video.